and welcome to another Tuesday night. This is the Parra Leagues Talking Parra live show. First of all, I'd like to thank our sponsors as usual, Riverside Brewing Co., Time for a Chat, ZMS Trophies, Tony Mustafa Mortgage Choice, Tate Sports Cards, Non-Stop Landscapes, X-Visory, BMA Trucking, Bay Vista, Spot on Hose and Figs, Euro Work, JD by Agents, and of course, Parra Leagues Club. Well, it's a wonderful week. It's always a wonderful week in Newcastle when you beat the Knights. Our rivers, our creeks, they're flooding. There's waters everywhere from the tiers. It's absolutely great. And look, if you listen to that, you can still hear the Newcastle fans booing their team off the field. What a wonderful fucking time it is alive. Look, I'll bring everyone in because we've got a bit of a serious thing to start with first. So, we'll leave it like that's perfect, Jez. Look, my lawyer, Talking Parra lawyer, has asked us to read this out first of all. So I do have to go to some serious stuff first of all. Then we'll obviously get to the sharing of the prize and stuff. So, look, I've got to be a bit serious this one. Jez gets a hey before anyone else every time. This bloke loves you. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you just put it up first. All right. Our lawyers asked me to read out this disclaimer. It has come to our attention that one of our members was part of an indecent, disrespectful behaviour at Friday night's game. We formally apologise for the events on Friday night involving one of our members. We do not condone such behaviour at all. Clearly, I'm not a lawyer. Someone's messaging me. Investigations and disciplinary proceedings are ongoing pending sobriety. Talking Parra apologises if this causes some members distress and recommend that if you're sensitive to look away now. The following segment contains stories of someone under the influence and should not be used as evidence in any court, tribunal or group chat. Talking Parra accepts no responsibility for the reputational damage, emotional scarring or unexpected contract terminations resulting from the viewing these images. Viewer discretion is advised. If alcohol is a problem for you, please call the National Alcohol and Other Drug Hotline on 1-800-250-015. All right, now I've got that out of the way. Troy, do you actually have anything to say?
No comment.
People say I got a drinking problem. That ain't no reason to stop. People say
I was just up minding my own business, watching over everything, soaking up what it feels like to win again. Watching Mavis from Mayfield slowly leave the ground, upset again. And out of the corner of my eye, I caught a glimpse of a Troy Warner from the Parra Cave podcast. And it was like when you got toddlers and you can see things unfolding in front of your eyes and you just have like this instinct that something bad's going to happen. And he was standing on the stairs and below him was a kid, and I could see Troy start to stumble before he actually stumbled. And he reached out and tried to get his balance on the kid, which wasn't working. And there was about 20 steps below him, so Troy was going to die, and he was going to take a kid with him. Without a single thought to my own safety, I reached out and grabbed Troy by the back of the hood in falling motion, took all his weight, and then reached in and gave him a big bear hug to stand him up straight, thus saving a child from being crushed on the stairs by a falling Troy Warner, who would have also probably fallen and broken his own neck due to the 3 beers that he had had, resulting in him being very intoxicated. Now, I don't think I'm superhero.
I was enjoying the scenes after the Parramatta Eels' great win, waving my flag, and this guy grabs me, almost falls on me, and almost put me out for the season.
people say I got a drinking problem.
Oh, God. What do you have to say for yourself, Troy? What do you have to say?
No comment.
I thought that video was never going to end.
Mate, Michael sent to like a 2-minute 40 waffle of what happened, but it's all true. I didn't see
I
it.
started listening to the commentary in the background of the footy during that talk, and it went for so long. I was like, who's playing?
It all did happen. What happened? What happened on Friday night, mate? Like 1 minute you're sitting there having a nice casual beer, and next minute you're falling downstairs trying to take out kids.
Mate, I don't even remember that. So, as I said, no comment. So, look, I'll have to go and replay the footage. I'll have to go to Newcastle Stadium and see if I can get the footage and check that out because it's absolutely news to me. And look, absolutely disappointed. But yeah, no further comment on that.
Jason saw it. Jason, it happened, didn't it?
So good. Hey, Troy. One thing I learned over the weekend was Adam has taught Lucas, or Lucas has taught himself. Troy, you're on report and you're in the bin.
I would have thought a HIA test was on the way here.
Yeah, 100%. You need something. All right, let's get on with it. Obviously, like I said, it was a great result there on Friday night or Friday afternoon. I haven't had everyone in. I'll get them in. There we go. They're all there. It's all right. Problem solved. Crisis averted. Obviously, beating Newcastle 28-6. Look, it was a great result. Jess is there. How do we get rid of him? This is going to shit this match. Welcome back, mate. Anyway, 28-6 was the result. Parramatta defeating Newcastle. Look, it probably should have been 50. I actually thought we were pretty poor. I think Jason Rolls come out and said the same thing. So showing that how poor we were and how much ball we dropped shows how terrible Newcastle were. Not a great, obviously, game for them, but I love seeing it, and it was great to get a win. I guess the disappointing thing is we could have been on a bit of run before we come into this hard period now with Origin. Probably should have beat Cronulla, probably should have beat the Dolphins. That should have been 3 in a row. But anyway, that's footy. I'll get your thoughts on the game quickly, Troy, if you remember it.
Mate, it was like Parramatta of old, wasn't it? It just showed with probably our strongest team minus Bailey Simonson, I think, what Parramatta could actually do. The offload game was back. Obviously, defence was good, even though Newcastle struggled to score points all season. But it was disappointing to let them get 6 points. But, yeah, just the offload game was back and just really showed what it could have been had we have been full strength from the start of the year.
Yeah, and obviously things take time as well. It's taken us time to not just get back to full strength, but put it all together. Your thoughts on the game, Benny?
Mate. Oh, sorry.
He's tripped out how big he is. He hasn't been on a show since he got...
Sorry, boys. Oh, sorry. I had 2 tabs going at once. Sorry, boys. That was I just heard the same. I heard the same thing back again. That was so
what was on the
weird.
other tab? Oh, yeah, okay.
It was Facebook. I tried to click on something and it opened up the podcast playing, and it was like on a delay. So I had the podcast playing. Mate, my thoughts on the game were it was great to get a win. It was good to see the boys playing like that. But I rewatched it. I actually rewatched the second half about an hour ago because I had a bit of time, and it wasn't as exciting watching it the second time round. There's still a lot of things that we aren't doing well. We should have put another 2 tries on them within the first 10 minutes of the second half. I thought, our attack looked terrible. I really am not going to miss Dylan Brown, and but there were some bright sparks too. But it just showed me that I think we've still got a really long way to go.
Yeah, we do. It takes time, as we know, but I want to say it was improved, but it actually wasn't an improved performance. So we got the results. That's what matters. When you play a bit average and get the result, we'll take that. Your thoughts, Jack?
Yeah, look, I think out of the last 3 weeks, it probably was our worst performance. But look, win's a win. The power game in the middle was working. We're offloading. Tries were being scored. Pretty sure everyone I know is a Parramatta fan. They're multi-hit in some form. So overall, everyone was winning. So it was a good day for all.
We'll take it. Jace, enjoying your birthday.
Yeah.
It was a birthday win, wasn't it?
Yeah, birthday win. So you can't complain too much, but I'm a lawyer, so I can always criticize. So look, the only things I didn't like is we didn't put 50 on them. We didn't keep them to 0. And everyone knows that we played well for 20-minute patches, and the game got a bit boring, a bit of a bludger. I think really what happened was we defended our line a few times, and we knew we had them. They had absolutely nothing in defence, and we were really up for it in defense. And once we saw they had nothing, I think we sort of calmed down a bit, and we were trying different things. So Dylan Brown actually played 7, Moses played 6. Will Penasini doesn't know how to pass the ball. Sean Russell plays better for some reason at centre and knows how to actually pass to the Fox. So there's a few things going on. I think maybe Rolls was trialling a few things for the future and during this Origin period. So, look, still great win. I watched the replay 3 times already. Watched the mini, I think 4 times. Watched the highlights 10 times. Can't get enough of it. So, got to embrace the win. I've already forgotten all the referee errors. Let's just embrace the win. And it's just too bad that Momax has already gone to Origin. We could have gone on a bit of a run, hopefully, but anyway, got to take the win.
It's a lot
Sorry
of
to the others. That's all the time we have.
Yeah,
get your own material, bro. I was about to say that's a lot of replays and probably a lot of tissues by the sound of it. Matty, your thoughts?
Yeah, it was good. I thoroughly enjoyed my sports bet account after it. The Momax in the Deal Bags Cup couldn't go wrong. But yeah, I just felt like there was periods there where we should have been more patient. We tried to score off every play, got a bit too cocky, and dropped the ball 50 times, and I think it was from the same 2 players.
Yeah, you can name them. You just got to be constructive about. Go on, don't.
No, I'm just saying Hopgood and Will. Just I don't know. Do
you think it's? We'll talk
too
about
much wheel on hands or something?
Because I know you're a big Hopgood fan, and I know Troy absolutely loves Will. But I'll ask you, Matt. Do you reckon it's overplaying? Are they trying too hard? Like Hopgood, all of a sudden, he has a bit of competition for his starting position with Dylan Walker there. Will Penasini, I think they put a lot of effort into him in the off-season. Obviously, having Scott Wiseman there, we knew they'd, with that rugby background and Will's rugby background, they put a lot into, I guess, developing his game. Do you think it's overplaying, Matt?
Yeah, 100%. I think Hopgood's trying to. We brought him in for that Isaiah Yeo, and we know how good he is. And I feel like since Walker's turned up, he's trying too hard and overplaying way too much. So, yeah, I think he's just trying to fit in where he can on the team, and especially the whole thing with playing hooker for a bit. I don't know if he enjoys that too much, but yeah, I just think it's overplaying his hand. And I think for some reason, Will must still have BA's voice in the back of his head telling him the instructions for the last couple of years to make sure he beats the player, because he knocks him down and then runs back into him.
And you've absolutely nailed that, though, because when you look at it, Will Penasini was coached by Brad through his juniors as well, and obviously his whole senior career. So it is a change and is adapting to a change, and we don't all adapt well to change. But look, I forgot to mention this, and I'll go to Longy, and Longy's got his own special segment this week as well, which is going to be fantastic. Hopefully he's done the research. I didn't even ask him if he has, because I know he's a fucking professional, and I know he will. Yeah. So don't forget to share this, guys and girls. So $100 Leagues Club voucher giveaway. All you have to do is share this live Facebook Live. That's what it's called. Yep. And then once you've done that, comment, shared, and Jez will start. We'll draw out the winner at the end. Got 30 seconds to claim. Unfortunately, last week it didn't go off, so it's jackpot to $100 because Andrew was too slow to claim. So got 30 seconds to claim. If you don't claim it, it'll go up to 150 the week after. All right, Longy, give us your thoughts on the game, then we'll go into your special new segment.
Yeah, look, I don't swear much on the podcast, but we delivered an absolute fucking pounding to Newcastle in that game. I'm not taking any negatives out of it. We won 28-6. It's been a while since we've done that. Absolutely loved it. One thing I will take out of the game is Mitch Moses playing in that 6 role, creating 2 tries, chasing kicks. Bit of an insight into what we can expect to see in the future when he gets to play next to an actual half who can sort of do some of that half stuff. So that changed my perspective on how we recruit. Before I was thinking, all right, we want a pure 6, someone who can play next to Moses. Now I'm thinking maybe we go for someone who is, more of that hybrid 6-7, has a bit more of that game, because we can unlock something else in Mitch here. So very optimistic for the future.
Well, yeah, the news will come through that Lachlan Galvin's going to be released by the Tigers, hopefully, while we're on this podcast. But obviously Galvin's future is as a 7 as well. We know he will develop into a 7. So it's interesting you say that, because if Galvin does come to Parramatta, or when Galvin does come to Parramatta, I think that what will happen is eventually as Mitch gets on in his career a bit older, you'll naturally see Galvin take that 7 role and Mitch go back that 6, kind of that changing of the guards kind of thing, step aside in a way. So it'd be perfect if that's happened. Are you ready for your segment? You ready?
Ready to go, mate.
Just push the button whenever you're ready, and we'll get into it.
Math is a wonderful thing. Math is a really cool thing. So get off your ass, let's do some math. Math, 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 math.
Beautiful.
G'day, guys. I'm Tim Manor, here to give you guys the stats for today. Most important stat from me is that 28-6. That's the big one. But let's run through it because there's heaps to talk about. Possession stat, we won 55-45. Time of possession, we had additional 6 minutes with the ball in hand. Completion rate, they had a lowly 69, which is pretty nice, but we had the 77% completions. On the attacking stat front, line breaks, 7-3. So Newcastle were pretty impotent, and we cracked them open at will. Big one here, and one of the biggest stats I want to talk about, and we talk about Penasini, right? He had a struggle, but I think he had some nice moments in there too. And he contributed to this stat, tackle breaks. We had 49 tackle breaks to 22 for Newcastle. So just blasting through them across the park, physically too powerful to be contained. And yeah, big plus for us. That translated to an average set distance of 44 meters compared to their lowly 38 meters. Then a couple of other stats here. Offloads, we won 9-6. We threw more dummies than them, twice as many dummies. Not a relevant stat, but a nice one to have. And the big one here, kick defusal. So we had all class out in the back three, 67% kick defusal compared to their 36%. Last thing I'm going to hit on here, tackle percentage. We had 91.6% tackle completion compared to their 84%. So really across the board, we dominated Newcastle. I could throw more stats at you, but the stats paint the same picture that the scoreboard does. Parramatta domination and a bright future.
There you go. I knew Troy to actually clap you, but I guess the disappointing thing with your reading today is, for me, we definitely should have won by more. We should have absolutely put them aside. We should have put Newcastle on that list of not being able to win the comp. But thanks, I love it. I love it. What was the play the ball speed?
We were a bit slower, actually.
Yeah, right.
So,
it's funny because we're always growing the play the ball speed. And I thought under a new coach that might change, but it hasn't seemed to change at all. So I just don't get why that is.
Yeah, no, we were a bit slower. We also conceded more penalties. If you want to,
yeah, well, that's always going to happen at Newcastle. You're always going to concede more penalties. Chaz is doing his little crying faces of everyone can see him. I think I'm the only one that can see him, aren't I? So yeah, he's doing this little wow. But anyway, let's look at the scoreboard. All right, let's move on to the defender of the match. I thought, first of all, our defensive effort was fucking incredible. The way we kept turning up on our own line, we covered the spread every time, and our wingers did an absolutely fantastic job. Both wingers, actually. Lomax took young Fletcher Hunter, like absolutely poleaxed him when he got around him once, and we saw what Adokar did to Jane Gagai as well when Jane Gagai found a bit of space, but incredible. It's something we've really struggled with for the last couple of years. Well, actually, I take that. It's been the last 13 years, let's be honest, without mentioning any names, who to blame there. But our defender of the week went to Mitch Moses. There's so many people we could have given it to. Obviously, you got your Rileys and Hopgood's making huge amounts of tackles. Kit Kat pretty much averages 100% tackle completion. But for me, Mitch's defense was just led with aggression. He put on probably about three, one very close to the line, absolute rocking shots. And it seemed like he was just getting himself prepared for Origin, that physicality of Origin. It was huge to see. Matt sitting there nodding along. Matt, your thoughts on Mitch's defensive performance?
Yeah, well, we saw it a bit last year when was it last year or the year before where he done that hit on Kenny Bromwich. So we know he's got it in him, and his defense has come a long way from when he first come to the Eels. Like, he was a bit of a turnstile, and then he's worked really hard on it, and it's starting to show. But yeah, obviously with Origin there, and I think having Lomax on the same team now as well, it's really going to take his game to that another level which we haven't seen before. So, but we all know he can provide. So,
yeah, for sure. Jay sitting next to us. I know you're excited when he come and absolutely whacked Fletcher Sharp and won us the ball. Your thoughts on Mitch's defensive effort?
Yeah, I think, like you said, he was prepping himself for Origin, getting into that physicality. I also think, as I said before, him playing more of a six role in this game, I think freed him up to do a few other things and focus on his defense as well and really get stuck in. You know, I can't remember the last time that Mitch was chasing kicks. He almost did it every single play. It was just very interesting to see. I had to watch the replays to really understand it.
How many did you watch?
3 plays. Yeah. So yeah, no, Mitch's defense was great, and he lifts the boys and leading by example. It was great to see.
Yeah, for sure. We'll go to our player of the match now. Our player of the match. I didn't vote for this, actually, but I thought he was incredible. Went to this last week. Our player of the match was Zach Lomax. So 16 runs, 271 run meters, 93 post contact meters, 2 line breaks, 4 tackle breaks, 2 tries. Look, probably could have had 5 tries if Will could hold on the ball and passing the ball. Had that much space outside of him, like in front of him all night, but just couldn't get him the ball. But I thought he was incredible. I want to give a shout out to Jack Williams as well. Jack Williams was my man of the match. I thought he was huge and hopefully stays in that second row, which I think he will. Jack, your thoughts on Lomax's performance though?
Oh, we've seen how much of a difference he's made. I felt bad for poor Fletcher Hunt, getting excited for his debut. Looks up and it's Zach Lomax running at him 24/7. He just does so much work out of our end. He's always the first one to touch the ball. He'll do 2-3 runs a set at some point. And he's just a good target. If we're down, had a bit of a rough set, 20 meters out, put the ball to him, we'll either score a try or get the ball back. It's just his presence in this team is just second to none, and it's like rivaled by Mitch Moses. How much of a impact he has on our team?
Yeah, sure. Your thoughts on his performance and who you would have given the man of the match to, Benny?
Mate, yeah, it was solid. Like the boys have said everything already, but that nice little hit at the end to dislodge the ball, like. He just had that smile that he had on his face after he dislodged that ball, and all the boys came up and celebrated him with and stuff like that. Like he just really looked like he's enjoying himself. It was really good to see from one of your team captains, especially from a defensive effort, not an offensive effort. Mate, I fell in love and am very horny for Jack Williams after that game. Very horny.
Very
horny for Jack Williams. Very horny for Jack Williams. That was an impressive game by him.
I spoke to Jack after the game and just said, "Man, that's your best performance in blue and gold. You absolutely killed it." And he said himself he loves playing in the second row. So I said, hopefully that's something that stays. Look, we'll get to the top performers now as well. And there's no surprise, obviously, with Lomax getting that player of the match. He highly features here. 30 runs. 30 runs on your return is absolutely incredible. Especially for a bloke who doesn't want to play on the wing. But Isaiah Ongi's usual features there at Okar. Junior Paul at 15 runs I thought was huge as well. Run meters, Zach Lomax, 271. Will Penasini, 179 meters into his 5 errors. Josh Adokar, 167. Iongi's run meters are a bit down, but it shows how much work the other two were doing. Tries, Lomax with 2, Moses 1, Brown 1, Semrani. Good to see Semrani score playing in that second row. And tackles, no surprise. Riley Smith tops that. And tackle breaks, Will Penasini 9. I'm pretty sure 9 of them, or 7 of them, were probably on that one play. He just kept running over the top of poor Thomas Cant before he dropped the ball. But that's your top performers. Troy, your thoughts?
Well, yeah, the stats speak for themselves, don't they? But Jason would have noticed this in the replays, how much the commentators loved Jack Williams when he made that break and he was stepping players, and it was about a 40-meter break. But it seems to me that it just seems to be the usual suspects that are on that list. But every now and again, you'll get a different name up there. But no, it was good team effort.
Good words, Troy. Great words. Longy, I know you love your stats, you love your performances. Who impressed you the most on that list?
I mean, we can talk about Lomax forever, but I'll throw a different player in. Kitioni Kautonga, so Kit Kat. Really impressive stat line here. The stats are telling the story of him becoming more and more solid in that second row spot. So in this game, 120 meters run, 36 tackles, only 1 missed. That 3 offloads there. So that offloading game we heard so much about is coming out more and more every week too. There's been a few moments in recent games where he's had offloads that have actually created line breaks as well. So I think as he gets more confident and more comfortable running the ball, we're going to see him involved in more and more big attacking plays. So yeah, I'm pumped about Kautonga. I think for a rookie, like we're assessing him, on an ongoing basis next to all these guys who are 100-game, 200-game rep players. But for Kautonga, he's a rookie still, right? So we've got to give him a bit of time. He's been fantastic.
I keep forgetting that. Every time I question, I keep forgetting the fact he hasn't played many games. But it's the only thing I want him to realize is how fucking big he is. He's a big motherfucker. Like, he needs to just hit that line a bit harder. And I guess Semrani's taller, probably naturally more built, but, not as wide and not as muscly. He's just come out and shown him how to run a perfect line. I think Kit Kat needs a lot of work on his line running. If he starts to hit those lines, the options open up in front of him. There's a couple again on Friday night. They'll start to be not only a really solid defensive second rower, but one that can break through the line. And once he starts breaking through the line, it opens up that ball playing option for those little offloads and those slick passes and stuff as well, which we know he's naturally going to have in his game, but he's got to wait and see what happens. But look, let's get to our leaderboard. Go whoever that was.
Just a quick one on Kit Kat. I talked to some of the dog supporters at my work that follow him through his juniors and stuff, and they even agree his biggest weakness is he thinks pass first. But once he gets that mindset of run first, then we'll start seeing a beast.
Yeah, that's what we want. We certainly need to. Can we get a shout out to Andy this stranded because of flooding? Andy, hope you're doing well, mate. I've got flood waters all around me as well. I can still get out. So hope you're doing well there in your little studio, and we'll catch you soon. Obviously, we won't catch you Friday night because you won't be making the game, but we'll catch you soon. So, all right, let's get to our leaderboard for the player of the year. The player of the year, look, he's had one game back. He sat on top pretty much nearly the whole year, and he's had one game back and he's taken back control, and that's Zach Lomax. Got the 3 points. The 2 points went to Williams and Mitchell Moses. Not featured in the top 5, but slowly creeping closer. I want to go to everyone quickly. Who do we reckon is one-word answer? Who's going to finish the top of the year in the leaderboard for the player of the year? Jack?
Lomax.
Benny?
Lomax has to be. There's no other answer.
That's more than one word.
Josh Adokar.
That's also more than one word. Matt?
I'm going to go left field here and say
Yeah, that's
Iongi.
it. Too many words.
He's ruined the whole thing.
Did you say Iongi? He's sitting on a 4 or 5, I think, so there's a chance. Jace?
Moses.
Longy?
I'll take Mitch Moses, yeah.
Yeah, I think Moses is going to make a late charge when he comes back. Well, hopefully when he comes back from Origin, because all it takes is, for Mitch to set up a couple of tries and kick a few goals, and everyone's going to be voting for him because the fans absolutely fucking froth on him. So, look, let's get on. Obviously, moving on from that game, but touching on something from Friday night, and I'll get Jez to bring it up in a second. But just the way the fans are interacting with the crowd, it was great to see on Friday night. It was absolutely fantastic. I know Jason was obviously there. Troy wouldn't remember, but after the game, the whole way around the field, and Jez, I know you stayed to the end because your father made you, so you can nod as well, but even people at the club were amazed at how many Parramatta fans were there. My partner's parents were amazed how many Parramatta fans were there and lining the fence after it. They were probably 4 or 5 deep all around the fence line, just waiting to meet their players. And look, I want to give, first of all, the players a bit of a shout out because they went to the fans and they went back to Dane Gaggai's presentation, which is great to see because, you see so much snobbing of that over the years. Every single player went across and watched that. They went back to the fans, spent a solid 10, 15 minutes with fans. There was no rushing the players in from the sheds. There was nothing like that. Just got to enjoy the moment. It was great to see. Absolutely loved it. And obviously the post we put up, which went a bit nuts as well, my young fella, he's met some of these players a few times because he's been into the field club and been to training and stuff and that. And now he thinks he's absolutely fucking everyone's best friend. He can treat everyone like they're his dad. And there he is. Look, he won't be at any Newcastle games for a while because I've actually suspended him with a grade 3 crusher for putting pressure on Riley's neck. But it's just good to see that, I did not see one player say no to a photo. It's something we obviously preached last year. And Troy, I'll go Troy. This is Troy and Matt on this one. I'll go Troy first. You're obviously in the meeting we have with the club and it's something we prioritise. How good is it to see this change? We were promised a change and it's happened.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, days gone by, this wouldn't have happened previously. But I think also, too, Jason Riles needs to take a lot of credit for it as well because I think that's what he tried to instill in the club is just, everyone with the badge getting involved and it's great to see.
Yeah, Matty?
Yeah, 100%. We've seen it in the past. We've been there, lined up for hours waiting for the boys for them to just walk out, go straight to the car. But, yeah, it's good to see what Riles has brought in with the new culture, and we still see inklings of some of the boys leaving the field early, but it was good to see after the game them go around to everyone. So it's getting there, and I'm glad that the meeting that we didn't have last year in a big glass office overlooking the whole fans and everyone could see us, but it didn't happen, remember? So, yeah.
We're allowed to say it happened now. We weren't allowed to say it happen for a while. Yeah, say it happened. Jez wants to say a quick word. You have to forgive him, guys. He hasn't got much of a voice. It's from booing his team off full time. So, Jez?
That's right. It was way too much booing. I just wanted to shout out the Parramatta team in general. The way that they stuck around and interacted with Dan Gagai's 300 game presentation was a standout. Like that's what really stood out to me, was the way that they listened intently, applauded genuinely, and were mingling with all the fans whilst this was happening. So that was really cool to see. And it's something that a lot of clubs can take a look at and try their best to be, because that was a huge standout for me. So well done, Parramatta.
Yeah, it was great to see. And like I said, it was led by the players as well, which was the other fantastic thing. It wasn't someone from the club coming and saying you have to go there. I want to touch on this because this comment first come up. I heard Cartwright walked out early after New South Wales Cup. I can confirm I was walking into the ground pretty close to kickoff after finishing our event at the Thirsty Messiah. It's put on by the club that Cartwright did leave before first grade. I think Jace, you were walking with me when I saw him walk out, and I was pretty shocked by this, but obviously there is a lot more to that, which we knew something's been going on for a while. Look, let's move on to the Origin news. Obviously, the Origin news is Mitchell Moses and Zach Lomax, also known as the boy band Momax, have been picked in the State of Origin number 1 to be played in Queensland next Wednesday. Look, this is obviously going to be heavily discussed, and a lot of Parramatta fans happy, a lot of Parramatta fans not happy. I want to start by saying I'm happy, obviously, to see these players playing at the top level, but I love Origin. I'd love to see New South Wales win with that Parramatta players in there. It doesn't really affect me. Parramatta's my number 1 priority, and I kind of wish the players felt the same. I get the accolade of playing at the highest level, but I'm so fucking worried they're going to get hurt. And if they get hurt, we've seen how much we suck without these two on the field. I want to get everyone's thoughts on that quickly. I know, Longy, we'll start with you because you were so excited to see this Nathan Cleary and Mitchell Moses combination. I want to ask you the question, though. Does Nathan Cleary need a Mitchell Moses there next to him? Do we need 2 genuine halves in Origin? Does Mitchell Moses actually need to be there is my question.
I guess the bigger question is, does Mitch Moses need Nathan Cleary, right? If we're looking at Origin form.
Like for like. I don't think they both need to be there is my point. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think it's good to have them both. The kicking game across the board is good. It's obvious that Laurie Daly said to Mitch that we want to see you, chasing kicks and playing that complementary role. And he went out and did that against Newcastle. So absolutely killed it. I think they'll unlock a lot out of each other in the same way that you look at that grand final. Penrith played against the Broncos. So Luai went off. Schneider came on. Was it Schneider?
Cogger.
Yeah, that's it. Right. Cogger's come on last 20 minutes. We saw Cleary move to the left side quite a bit. He was on the right as well. He was everywhere, but playing more of that running style. And he won that game on the back of his running game. So we don't see that as much either as well. So I think they're going to bring something out in each other that we don't see in Clubland. But just more broadly, I'm happy to see them playing for the Blues. They've earned their spots at the Blues based on good club form. And that's what I'm happy to see, right? So, if they get hurt, that's obviously bad news, but I'm rooting for the boys. I hope they both are involved in scoring the winner this week and we clean sweep Queensland.
Yeah, hopefully we do clean sweep Queensland. I want to touch on one thing you said, though. I won't let you rebuttal because me and you could discuss this all night. I think Mitchell Moses is there on good club form. I think he's there on what he did last year. I think Zach Lomax is there on good club form. I think he's played well every game he's played, but I don't think Mitch has been a standout for him. He's played quite well. He's played okay. He's changed our team, but I think he's had one eye on Origin this whole time. Your thoughts, Troy, on obviously those 2 players being selected in Origin?
Well, yeah, good on him. Look, just as my good old mate Nige said a little bit earlier, there was a stat, I think it was about 3.2 on average Origin players in it.
Your drinks to get Troy drunk, or 3.2?
No, that was the old Tui's 2.2 back in the day. But anyway, yeah, like if a club has 3.2 Origin players in their side, they generally go on to win comps, play pretty good, make finals, blah 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 blah. I'm just over people saying, "Oh, I don't want them playing for New South Wales. I want them playing for Parramatta." Yeah, I get that, but look, you can get injured in round 1, 2. What's the difference? Players will want to play Origin, and they want to play for Australia as well. Sure, they earn their spots by playing for Parramatta, and that's who pays them, but just let them go, let them play. They're going to come back. They generally come back to your club as a better player anyway because they're in that arena with the best players. So you can see that. So just let them go.
For sure. Okay. I like your point, Troy. I'll take your Troy on board. It's not going to change their mind, but I'll take it on board. Benny, mate, State of Origin. Obviously, he's going to be showing on the big screens there at the pub. You want to give it a plug first of all?
Mate. Yeah, absolutely. One of my most favourite nights to work is Origin. But I don't think anyone knows this yet because I haven't probably told you guys, but I am a Queensland supporter. So
kick him out.
Yeah, I was actually a Queensland.
I was looking forward to know Hayden for this chat.
Let's slide him down here. Long he's had his say. Let's get Matty up for his say. There you go.
All right, so I'm all for Parra players going to Origin because I still get flashbacks from Hayne 09 when he came back from Origin and he had the pink boots. And then we went on that run. I feel like the confidence these two boys are going to get from being around those sorts of players, especially when you get, if Lomax is outside like a Latrell or whoever he's outside, like
he'll be outside Critter.
Yeah, exactly. So either one, like,
and he gets to come back and be outside Will Penasini. You can't pass him
exactly. So you'll see, like, when they come back, their confidence is going to be sky high, and yeah, I feel like you look at it already, and Zach Lomax was already on the field with the Panthers boys before any other player turned up. Like, so it just goes to show where he's at. So
yeah, because I respect him as well. Your thoughts, Jack? Up there in Queensland, mate. I'm not supporting Queensland. Up in Queensland.
Yeah, I'm from Queensland. I live in Queensland, but you rest assured, when I'm at that game on Wednesday, I will be searching for blood. I want New South Wales to win by 50. Look, I'm quite easily able to take off my Parramatta hat and put on my New South Wales cap. Look, I think you should want the best players to be playing Origin. I think Moses and Lomax fit that. In terms of injuries, it's scary, but shit happens. It's footy. These things happen. It'd be nice if our depth could clutch up a bit more. We don't look like the worst team in history when they're not on the field. But look, I think Moses playing outside Cleary, they'll complement each other. Moses might pick up some things that Penrith do so well from Cleary, bring it back to club. Outside of the injuries, I can't see any negatives. I think it'll be good. I think New South Wales will benefit and win by at least 60 after the first half. And then, easy whitewash. $4.80 for a whitewash, boys, by the way, if you're curious.
Gamble
bookies jump on it. Gamble responsibly, of course.
Chase, your thoughts on the Origin? Then we'll let Benny have a say at the end as well, guys. We're not going to cut him off. To the end. After all the important news, we're going to have spoken. So.
I can talk about this all day. Me personally, I don't like it. I think Origin should have a European soccer international break, and they should just focus on Origin for 3 or 4 weeks and give every single team the time off. Now, I know that's not the best for rugby league because of injuries and warm up again, whatever it is, but I think that's the fairest way. Buzz Rothfield on 360 put up with the stats about how many buys teams get, and Melbourne and Penrith get favoured every single year. We get 2 this year. We're fortunate. The Roosters get none, so they're going to luck out with 5 players. So I just don't think it's a fair system. I would much rather see the best players playing all the time for their clubs. I love Origin, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather that as a compromise. Look, you're right. When they play Origin, they come back better. They look better. They get more experience, even just being in camp. When we dominated the 80s, we had like 8 Origin players. So it is very important. I just don't like the way it's structured, and I think there needs to be more thoughts around the buys and giving teams a fairer go at having their best players during the Origin period.
I guess if you do that international break and you play it in the middle of the year, you're still going to risk that injuries, and it's still going to happen. Probably doesn't eliminate that side of things, but could be a way to focus on some other parts of the game as well. Put a bit back into the country. The junior, not the juniors, but around that time when your junior rep grand finals are on, for example, focus that, give that some airtime, something like that. But I don't think it'll happen, but I like the idea. All right, Benny, we'll get you back up. We'll let you talk again. Tell us why you think Queensland are not going to get beat 3-0 in this series.
Okay, so first of all, considering that I plan to be on this podcast a few times and I hope to meet some of the people watching and you guys at live matches, I'll at least give you some context as to around why I follow Queensland. My dad is a diehard.
Thank you.
Rough.
My dad is a diehard Queensland supporter, and so I followed Queensland before I followed Parramatta. I actually followed Parramatta because Clint Shivkovsky was my favorite player. So that's how I got onto following Parra. So that's how I got to there. But all I wanted to say about Origin is that you need Origin to have the superstars that we have in this game today. Like, honestly, like if you polled all the players, I reckon playing Origin is more prestigious than playing for their country. If you don't, obviously the remuneration they get through their salaries is a big driving force as to why they want to play well and become stars. But these guys, this is our all-star game. This is our all-star game. And in every single code of football, any sport in the world, I'd have to say I follow a lot of sport, and I've been I'm following a lot of sport for a long time. State of Origin is by far the best all-star game in the world. The NBA would kill for an all-star match that was as hotly contested as State of Origin is between New South Wales and Queensland. These guys play harder than they ever play, like besides grand finals or in big matches. So if you don't have Origin, unfortunately, yes, there is injuries. People isn't increasing the amount of injuries. It's an increase in the amount of opportunities for injuries because they're playing so fucking hard. So without Origin, you're not going to get the level of play that you get leading up to it or afterwards. And having it in the middle of the season means that it means more to them. So we really need it. And if you think that Origin is bad for the players, then the players wouldn't be as good as you see them play if Origin wasn't there. That's my opinion.
Was that the question you asked, Adam?
I said, are Queensland going to get beat 3-0?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The answer's yes.
I'm not answering this on this podcast, all right? I'm not going to be held liable. I'm not putting out any crazy takes, all right? It's going to be a good 3 games. That's all I want, and I want the pub to be busy every night. That's all I care about.
Yeah, we will say that as well. Well, congratulations to the New South Wales guys while we're talking Origin. Look, we're going to focus on that a bit more next week. We will do a bit of obviously a preview of the men's Origin and review of the first 2 women's Origin games and preview that third Origin next Tuesday as well. So it's going to be a huge show next week. But I want to ask one question, Benny, just as we finalise on Origin. Hayden's obviously not here tonight. We don't know his whereabouts. We don't know where he is. Did he find out of Queensland? Because, I mean, hearing some strange noises coming from under your table, that's all.
Oh no, sorry. I was on one then. So when I get on one when I'm talking, sometimes I start bouncing my legs. So I was bouncing the table. Sorry about that.
That's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all right. No, if he was under there, I would have been making some crazy faces. Don't worry about that. He doesn't. Wouldn't have been able to hide that. I wouldn't have been able to hide that enjoyment. Don't worry about that.
All right. Let's move on to this week's game. Actually, no, before we get to that, Junior Paulo playing his 250th game this week. We'll get that graphic up as well. And look, he's obviously had some stints with Canberra, made his debut at Parramatta and that one famous rugby union game he played as well. So Junior reaches his 250th game this week. Great achievement. We had him retiring at the end of the year. I think he's been excellent actually this year. We struggled a couple of times early on. We all know he had a few foot complaints there, foot injuries, whatever you want to call it, shin splints, something along those lines, foot cramps, whatever was going on, but seems to be over that and playing well. I'm going to throw everyone on the bus here, but your best memory of Junior, Troy?
Oh, jeez. Can't think of one at the moment.
Has anyone got one that wants to raise their hand and give me a Junior Paulo moment? There you go, Jack. Jack?
It was either against Brisbane or Tigers in 2019, the year Combank Open. It was the end of the game. I think it might have been Tigers, and they were coming out of their own end, and Paulo just shot up and absolutely flattened him. I reckon we're about 75 minutes in. That bloke stayed down. All the boys got around it. We put 50 past them. It was just a good correlation. That's the only one I could think of.
Yeah, Matty's got a few by the look of it.
Yeah, Hayne put him through a gap at Parra Stadium back in the day, and he ran like 20 metres to score, and it was like his first try or something in the NRL. There's that one. There's the night he told us he was coming back to Parra. in Canberra. That was a good one. So, but no, I've got plenty, especially like obviously knowing him pretty good, growing up like through the ranks. So, but no, he's been very good to us fans over the years. So that's probably the best thing. And to see young Mario, his son, being the ball boy now, and seeing them turn up together, and
I mean, junior Paulo.
Junior Paulo, yeah. So
Extra Junior Paulo.
yeah, so it's good to see, especially like seeing them both grow up.
This
as
has been
Eels.
a great serviceman for the club. I know he obviously left for that time, but obviously not forgetting the fact he left during that salary cap stuff was going on and did leave early to help the club out as well before returning. So great serviceman from the club. And I guess as he gets on his career, as I've always said, I kind of hope he can teach the young ones coming through and I guess leave on his term. He isn't kind of forced out. So we'll see what happens there. Look, the next game is this Friday night, though, against Manly. Parra versus Manly on a Friday night. Bit of a flashback there as well. But it's actually at 8 o'clock kickoff. I put it 8:05, so I hope no one turns up 5 minutes late because I put that up there. Being a Channel 9 game, who knows what will happen. But I put Jack Williams there because he was my man of the match for the week. But Friday night, I think it's going to absolutely fucking piss down. Obviously, there's some Origin players missing, but should be an interesting little sludge fest out there at Parramatta. What do we got to do to win this game, Jace?
Well, you made me think about it, so I've got to say it now. I think just the junior moment. Was it round 1, 2021 against Broncos? And for some reason, he was playing lock. And he put was it a cutout pass that led to the try for Ferguson in the corner? That was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life from a front rower. But anyway, look, we have to shut down Turbo, and that's it. We shut down Turbo. We shut down their entire attack, even with DCE there and all their other players. Turbo is their attack, and you see it. You see it all the time. He makes the breaks. There's the extra man for the underplay to go out wide. Saab runs off him. Garrick runs off him. You stop Turbo, you stop their team. I'm a bit worried because Turbo also has a point to prove. So we definitely have to stop him, and we have to make sure our defense is up and killing him because Manly have so much speed. They got so much speed. I'm not too worried about their forward pack. They brought in Matt Lodge. Maybe Ola Kawatu plays. He's also a beast, but it's really their speed out wide, and that's how they've always killed us in the past. They always just spread it wide for us, and we've never had pace. So hopefully now we've got enough pace on the wings to actually step up and play this game well. Ola Kawatu is an absolute beast. But yeah, stop Tommy, we stop their attack, and hopefully we get in. And I want to see our forwards actually dominate for once. Like even against Newcastle on the weekend, we weren't that dominant. I really want to see our forwards dominate, and let's put Hawkins and Brown into some good positions, and let's see Joash come on at 14, whatever he's going to play, and run rings around him. I can't wait.
Sorry, Longy, I should have gone to you first because you've got to go. You just want to have a quick say on this, and then you can ride off into the darkness of the night.
Yeah, easy one. So, good points there, Jace, too. But I'll say the middle forwards for Manly are pretty fragile right now. So Taniela Paseka's out for quite a while. Jake Trbojevic out with a HIA as well. This is a game where if Jermaine Hopgood's going to turn it around, which I believe he will, if he's going to turn it around, this kind of has to be the game where we see 4 or 5 tackle breaks, 3 or 4 offloads, a higher run to pass ratio there. So I'm going to be looking for Hopgood to have a big game. I'm not super optimistic about the matchup. I think we might struggle this week, but I'll take any positives I can. And if Hopgood can have a big one, then that's a good one for us.
Love your work, Longy. Catch you later.
Cheers, boys.
Enjoy. Bye.
Yeah, Longy.
Now it's going to throw everything off. Oh, look at that ugly gap you left in the middle, Jez. It's doing my head in. Can we let's switch it? Let's switch it to. Please hold, guys. This is very important. There we go. Fixed it. Don't worry. Problem solved. Who am I going to now, Matty? Thoughts on the game?
Yeah,
night?
I think Turbo's in for a big one. Obviously, not being selected for Origin, so he's got a point to prove. It's Eels versus ex-Eels, so Olakuatu, Nathan Brown, good old Jake Arthur. So yeah, it's going to be a good game. I think it'll be a close one, but I don't know. I think we'll get it. I think Hawkins has been pretty good in reserve grade, so I think he'll get his shot. And yeah, with Dylan Walker, and if there's a few changes leading up to kickoff, then we're in for a shot.
Yeah, we'll get to that soon because I've got a few pricks to call out. Troy, how do we win this?
Oh, you love saying that, don't you? By scoring more points than the opposition, that's a pretty good start. But
Thanks,
look,
Gus.
here we go. Hey?
Thanks, Gus.
He's the same fucking line every week. He's muted and he doesn't get his opinion. Benny, Friday night, Parramatta versus Manly.
Mate,
What's
I
Parramatta
think
gonna
that,
do?
like every good All-Star break, it's a good opportunity for players that want to be in the spotlight to increase their stock. So I think we need a big game out of Dean Hawkins. I think he needs to show that he's ready to play, even if it wasn't with us, ready to play like first grade in his position, and just stop passing the ball straight away. Maybe do a little bit something with it. Take on the line a little bit. I think Dean Hawkins needs to have a really good game.
So pressure on Dean Hawkins. Love it. Good point. Jack?
Look, I think we got to take advantage of the fact that Cherry's not playing. You know, whenever they get the ball, even in their own 20, they'll swing it out. They got Olakwatu, Garrick Saab. I think we need to make Jake Arthur's life an absolute living hell. Don't give him a second to breathe, because that's their strike edge. If we can contain them, pretty confident we'll be able to roll through the middle. And then, yeah, they've got their key boys out. Yeah, contain Turbo, contain that edge, and the boys in the middle do their job. I think it'll be sweet. It'd be nice if Dylan Brown can pull his finger out, but that's a bit too optimistic on my end. So we'll go with forwards and containing that edge is my answer.
I like it. I'm just going to flick this back to this because it's just give me a second, everyone. I had to go back to that. It was doing my head in. It was just out of line. Look, for me, I think the pressure's on Dylan Walker. Obviously mentioned Dylan Brown stepping up, but when Hawkins and Brown have played together, I think it's been twice this year, which is against St. George. We won the game. Against Canberra, we obviously took an absolute shellacking, but Dylan Walker coming in that team and combining that middle with that edges, I think would be huge for Dylan Brown's game. The pressure was on Hawkins when those two played together because Brown was non-existent. He was a passenger. He was struggling without his, Mitchell Moses to control things for him. I think Walker will play a lot of minutes. I think Hopgood will spend a bit of time in the front row this week. I think Walker will come on that little bit earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if Walker doesn't start this game. I think we know we're going to see some changes, and we'll get to that soon. But if Walker start, Parramatta can win this game because I simply think he'll just get our forwards going and take the pressure off those two halves. It's what we need. So, Jason Riles, if you're watching, someone can get this message, Jason Riles, please start Dylan Walker this week. It's what we need to see. Look, we'll go through the team list now, and then we'll talk about some stuff there. So, he's not getting another say. He fucked it up. He screwed his chance up. He's lucky he's still here.
Just listen to the Parra Cave podcast game day preview and you'll hear my thoughts.
He was talking to the 5 people that listen to that, guys. So sorry. All right, let's get to the team list. Troy, I'll give you a chance. You can run through this team list, mate.
Okay, number 1, we've got Isaiah Iongi. Now, on the wing this week, Sean Russell, Will Penasini, Jordan Samrani in the centres, Josh Adokar is the...
People say I got a drinking problem. That ain't no reason to stop.
All right, get going.
Couldn't help himself. Could not help himself. Should have seen it coming a mile away.
And
Should have seen it coming a mile away.
I'm just trying to look for some spelling mistakes here, but Dylan Brown, Dean Hawkins are the half and 5'8", 5'8 and a half. Jack Williams, Junior Paolo in his 250th. Yeah, the front rowers. Riley Smith is a hooker. Kelma Tulagi returns from suspension in the back row with Kit Kat. Jermaine Hopgood locks the scrum. Dylan Walker, Luca Moretti, Ryan Madison, Matt Drury are on the bench. Jason's favourite player, Joash Papali, 18th man, Joey Lussick, Tony Mattelli, who had a great game last week, actually, Ronald Volkman, and Samuel Lazou.
You must have watched the replay as well to know that. Look, there it is. There's the big moment, and we're going to go straight to him.
That is quality AI. That's quality AI.
Actually, yeah, it looks more like Dylan Brown than Joe Ash, but we'll take it. But
I just wish it wasn't so fucking demeaning. But yeah, fair enough.
yeah, we'll take it. That's how much you love him. Look, Joash Papali'i, as we broke earlier, he will debut. Now, I want to call some people out because last week we told you Ryan Madison will be playing, and you're all like questioning it. You know, will he play? Will he won't play? And then he didn't get named, and he's calling us out saying he's not. Who'd you get your source from? Your source is wrong. Your source is wrong. And then this week, it just keeps coming up now. Jez is in control of this, not me. If you want to sue someone, Jason, he's the man. He created that, I swear. But look, we've told you that Joash Papali'i will debut, and he will fucking debut. So keep the faith. He is playing. I don't know what the changes are. I don't know who's coming out, but I know Joash will be on the bench on Friday night unless something happens. Unless something happens between now and then that stops him from playing, like picks up a minor injury, which obviously we hope doesn't happen, he will play. So just trust us. Our source is accurate. And actually, sorry, our 3 sources are accurate. He will be playing. So now we'll go to Jace. How excited are you? Your little boy, it's happening.
Oh, look, he's a little legend. Like we've mentioned before, such a polite young man. Was being patient, was understanding about how he needed to wait for his turn. His turn was going to come when he was ready, when the team was ready, when he got given the chance by Riles. I'm just very excited for him because he is just a good bloke, family orientated. Just a really and one of those kids that you look at like a Riley Smith, where you say, I hope this guy stays at our club for a long time because you know he's going to be a great player, you know he's going to be a good match, you know he's going to fit in, and he's just going to do good for the club. Just so excited for him. I can't wait to see him in action. I can't wait to see him in a bit of space, wherever he's going to be. I assume there's going to be lots of changes to this team list because it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's going to be so much.
It doesn't have to make sense, really. Like, we're assuming there's going to be lots of changes, but it could be something as simple as, he could just come on the bench and Dury or Madison could drop out. Because with Hopgood, obviously, there and Walker going to lock, you've got an extra middle anyway. Like, Hopgood can play middle. So, yes, we're essentially carrying 2 utilities, but we're carrying a lock that's quite capable of playing, front row. What I think will happen is I think that Luke and Reddy will start in the front row. I think that Williams will go to second row. Kelmer will come back to the bench. Someone will drop out, probably Madison, because he's obviously covering that second row as well and leaves Dury there as more of a middle forward. And then Joash comes in there. That's what I'll be doing. And I think that's what will happen. But sorry, Jace, back to you.
No, that's right. Just the thing is as well is that Joash is actually a great kicker. So him coming on the wing would not surprise me at all. Russell back into centre, him on the wing, on the other side, and then Sam Riney going onto the bench. Like, I just see so many changes happening to this team list to get Papali'i in and where he's better suited. The thing is, for him at 6, he's still got a long way to develop at 6. Now, it's very simple for a 1 to go to a 6 in attack. It's very difficult for them to go 1 to a 6 in defence. So that's why I see him playing on the wing or maybe even defending on the wing. I think I see that working a lot better for him because he did play that one game in Cup and he went missing. He didn't know what to do in attack and he was horrible in defence. But that can be improved, obviously. But he's a gun fullback and he's got a lot of speed and a lot of skill. And wherever he goes, he's going to make an impact. But it's always going to be the defensive stuff that's going to be the issue in terms of developing him as an NRL player. But I'm just so excited for him. He deserves it, and I can't wait to see it.
Are you getting T-shirts made up, Jason?
That T-shirt.
If you want to get me a shirt, obviously not with this on it, but
look, I want to touch on one thing you said there because I feel like there's a thing for him he'll play a bit of hooker, and we don't know if defensively he's going to be up to hooker because it's not proven. But I think Dylan Brown can quite easily go and defend in the middle, and he can defend at 6 probably easier. But you're probably correct too. They could have a bit of a period of that game where Sam Riney moves in the second row, Joash goes on the wing and just kind of floats in attack, like we've seen, Melbourne do with Suafai Longo as well. So lots of possibilities there. All right, moving on from your boyfriend, Jack, your thoughts on the team list?
Yeah, look, it's kind of what I expected. I'm not a big fan of Sam Riney centre, Russell wing. I don't think Russell's a good winger. I think he's a much better centre. I'm hoping I see some changes and move Russell back in there In terms of Josh in the wing, I like it. Just not for this matchup necessarily. He's not the biggest bloke, and Manly have some large wingers. And then, yeah, look, I'm assuming Duru would drop out again. I'd like to see William back on that edge. Moretti starting. I really liked Moretti starting last week. It gave us a good punch that we kind of lacked in the last few weeks. But like other than that, it's kind of what I expected coming through, except for that, obviously, center wing switch with Russell and Samrani.
Yeah, I knew I knew Sam Rainey was going to come into the backs. Just due to obviously some of the injuries we've got in reserve grade as well. Like, obviously Bailey's unavailable, Hayes Dunster's unavailable, Arthur Mills-Stevens unavailable. But I just want to highlight this comment that Jez brought up because I was about to bring it up. Just want to say one thing. Obviously, these leaks do not come from within the club. I probably shouldn't have to say that, but I'm going to say it. They definitely do not come within the club. We don't get any info from within the club about player selections at all. As soon as a player is told to make their debut, they'll go off and tell a family member. And that family member will tell someone else who they're not meant to tell. And it gets around pretty quickly. And a lot of our rumors and sources usually come from, I guess, a pretty reliable source, meaning that we get multiple family members telling us or multiple fans of the page have been told off a family member. So we can say it's luck. We've obviously got a way to confirm it, which once again is not a direct employee of the club. And, that's how we usually have this information. So look, we've got some things wrong in the past, but at the moment we're fucking killing it. So don't fucking doubt us. Your thoughts on the team list, Matty?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. We don't do sauce on this podcast. We do relish. Hey, Jace. So, yeah, good. It's what we expected. I feel like Joash will come in purely as well. I think he has a better goal kicking average than Russell. So
it'll be fucking hard.
Yeah, I know. You have a better goal kicking than Russell.
I'm kicking it 100% this year, by the way. I'm 3 from 3. So.
That's what I said. So, yeah, I feel like Joash is purely for goal kicking as well and to just run riot. Just give him the ball, let him just do whatever he wants. Because we've seen it in Cup, we've seen it in the trials, what he can do. So I'm hoping he does come in. I don't know. I think I like what I see, but yeah, Sam Rani's been killing it in the forwards, so it's kind of weird you'd put him center, but obviously that's not the team that's going to run out. And we know Rolls is playing mind games like the old Brian Smith days, so
it's a like for like though. Like Sam Ryan in the second row can play a similar role in the centers. He can still run those lines. They just move the plays one play wider, one person wider. So if they want to switch you into a straight line, Sam Ryan can do that.
I was going to say you could put. We've seen it happen in the past where like Joash could potentially come in at 6 and Dylan go center or something, but I don't know what you could do.
I don't think we need to change that much. Like I think the foundation's already there and you don't want to change too much for one game. Yeah. Benny, your thoughts on the team list?
Oh, mate, I think you guys covered it all there. That was pretty extensive. That was very extensive. But if there's going to be a few changes anyway, then see what happens closer to the game.
We will. It means we don't have to go to Troy for his sake because he's fucking pissed me off tonight anyway, so we're not going to. Come on, Troy.
Yeah, well, I probably would have left Russell in the centres, Sam Roney on the wing. Easy change there. Hawkins was always going to come in. There's probably not much else you could probably have done with that side, to be honest.
I agree. Yeah, we're lucky. A few injuries obviously costing us big time there. Look, bold predictions time's coming up. I want to run through some of the bold predictions in the weekend because we actually had some points scored. Look, Jez went very close with the score. He picked Parramatta 32-6. He wasn't far off. Just a couple of missed goal kicks and he would have had it, which would have been amazing for him. And Jack, round 2 try assist, crossfield kick try assist is what I had you written down as. I don't know if that's what you said. The fucking Jez sends me through a list and they're long. I just try and shorten them because we all waffle too much on them. But you got the crossfield try assist, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy to give you that one. Now, Jason's got it on a technicality. We let him allow a Momax double. And we're not quite sure what he meant. I think he meant them combining for 2 tries, but between the two of them, they scored 3 tries. So, look, it's a pretty piss weak bowl prediction, but we're going to give you the points.
It's his birthday as well, anyway.
His birthday, yeah. We'll give
sympathy
you 1,000
point.
The first try scorer for the game was Mitchell Moses, which no one said. which is disappointing for everyone. My bold prediction, I think I should get half a point at least because I had the Knights be booed off at halftime and they're in fact booed off at full time. Now, that's a pretty bold prediction. Can I have some points, guys? Can we?
It's either all the points or no points. I'm calling no points.
No points.
I'll fucking remember this, Jack. I'll remember.
Gone off too early.
I'm being booted. This is my last night.
Troy's got the shit because he's got fucking no idea when it comes to this, so he never gets anything. But look, let's get into our bold predictions for this week, and then we'll draw out this competition winner. So, Benny, I'll let you go first because we keep stealing all your stuff every time we've had to go last. So, give us your bold prediction. Jez will write it down. So, let's try and keep them a bit shorter because they're fucking hard to come through. So, your score, first try score, and your bold prediction.
Okay, so score I think will be 22-16 to Parra. First try scorer I think will be Iongi, and my bold prediction, because I'm just going to keep making bold predictions around Iongi until he has this belter of a game, is he scores a double.
Take it. Jace?
Yeah, I've got a feeling Jack Williams, first try scorer. I just feel on the back of last week, a lot of confidence. Forward pack at the beginning will be big, so got him first try scorer. I think it's going to be a lot closer game than what we are thinking. I'm going to say it's Parra 18, Manly 16, and it's going to be. This is my bold prediction: Joash Papali'i to debut and score a try, and he's going to kick the winning goal.
That's too much.
How is it? He's going to debut, score a try, and we win goal. We'll take that. That's not that much.
And celebrate after a game like that.
If someone asked Yost to write a movie about how good he thought his first game of NRL would go, he wouldn't even be able to write the movie that well.
Hey, it happens. People score hat tricks on their debut. It happens. So you never know.
Sorry, I was too excited finding that graphic to put up that I actually missed what you said about Paps and what your bold prediction was. Can you just repeat it for me?
He's gonna score a try and debut and kick the winning goal.
Okay.
Do you mean winning goal like the go-ahead points for us to win the game?
Yeah, the 18 to the 16. He's gonna kick.
Okay, right. Okay. So, the craziest movie ending ever that no one would even think of.
Hey, Moses was it last year or the year before? Moses kicks the winning goal from the sideline in the rain. So
Trust me.
His debut? On his debut?
No, but still, yeah, it's a bold prediction.
And trust me.
The boldest prediction.
If all that happens, Jason's going to make sure his night gets even better after that. That's for sure. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Maddie, what do you got?
I haven't had too much thought about this, but yeah, if it's raining, it's going to be a close one. I think it'll be 22-16. Eels, obviously. First try scorer, I'm going to go Hopgood. I think I've been tipping Hopgood all year, so I might as well pick and stick. But yeah, bold prediction, I'm going to guess Dean Hawkins 2 try assists to Dylan Brown.
Oh, okay.
To combine. So Dean Hawkins will do.
So Dylan Brown's going to score 2 tries.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Troy?
Look, I've just checked the weather report for Friday because a lot of people are asking and you guys are talking about it. It's going to be raining during the day. During the night, it should be all right. So it'll be a wet track, not as wet as Allianz Stadium, but 24-20, Parramatta to win. Will Penasini, first try scorer. Bold prediction, Will to score 3 tries.
He's got to hold the ball for that.
Will Penasini?
Yep.
You have to keep the ball in his hands for that to happen.
Is that in New South Wales Cup or what, Troy?
Actually, in Ron Massey, he's scored off Jared Hayne.
You just watch.
All right, Jack, what do you got?
I've got Parramatta winning 16-14. I have Dylan Brown as my first try scorer. And my bold prediction is that Will Penasini scores the go-ahead try in the same corner he did a couple of years ago. And whoever is goal kicking, For the story, we'll say Papali slots it from the sideline.
Fuck, I hope you got all that, Jez. He's just shaking his head.
I'll put it in. I'll put it in the chat because that was a lot. My bad.
Now you see what
I'll put it in.
Jez.
I'll put it in the chat here, Jez. My bad. Wasn't very simplistic.
Wet weather, 10 to 20 mils of rain expected around kickoff, so it's going to be absolutely pissing down. I'm going to go. Is that what you just said, Troy? Did you do the wet weather report?
No, it's not. It's not going to be raining.
Well, it is in Maitland.
Raining
The weather report in Maitland, so it's going to be raining all day. It's only 2 hours away. All right, so 14-10 to Parra. My first try scorer. I reckon Manly will score the first try. I'm going to say Turbo will score the first try. Sorry, guys. I never do that. I'm going to do it. And my bold prediction is for Iongi to outstat perform Turbo. Yeah. I'm not going to go into the stats, but outstat perform him. I'll let Longy decide that one because Longy's the stats man now. So he can decide if he's outstat performed him. All right, let's get to the final question. So get your final questions in while I draw this $100 voucher for the Leagues Club. Maybe you've got 30 seconds to obviously comment that you are here. So that's not 31 seconds, by the way. That's 30 seconds. So if you're not here within 30 seconds, that's fucking luck. It's $150 next week. We're not running a charity here, all right? So, all right, let's do this. I'll hold it up. The number is number 4, which is Jonathan Jonghua. So you got 30 seconds from now. It takes him to the 14-20. So Jonathan Jonghua, if you are here, let us know. You've got 20 seconds left. Everyone's already commenting redraw. Andrew's probably going to be blowing up. Yeah, shut up, Andrew. And he's got 10 seconds left. 9. He's here.
Oh, he's here.
Jonathan Jonghua is here. So, Jonathan, message the page, mate. Got a $100 voucher to be used at Parramatta Leagues Club. We'll get that to you. So, how good? Perfect. Done. All right. Let's get to some final questions. Get your final questions in. Michael has one straight away. Who will drink more this Friday, Troy or himself? Well, I don't think. I don't think it's a question of who will drink more. It's who will be the drunkest, and it'll take 20 drinks to get you as drunk as Troy's 3. Troy, do you reckon you could outdrink Michael?
Well, I'm going to say Michael will drink more on Friday night than me.
Yeah,
yeah, definitely. He's in the field club with Jason. He's gonna be drinking. Yeah. All right. Let's look. Any other questions? This one. Yeah, this one's a good one. I'll ask Matty this one. Should Hopgood try a bench or edge back row? He's not working at 13 at the moment and needs a different role. Matty, first of all, I want to clarify he can't play edge back row. We've seen that before and it's failed. What would you do with Hopgood?
I think impact off the bench, to be honest. If just to get his, I don't know. I think he's struggling and with all the changes, and he has cut a lot of weight in the off season. So I think put him off the bench as an impact player and see how he goes. It might be his position.
Sure. Jerry Dunford, Galvin to the. Oh, yep. You're chucking him up. I'm reading from a different angle, but we'll go this one. My cock's large. Why don't we grubber anymore? I know you like a bit of dribble. My cock's large. Benny, do you like the grubber, the repeat set, or you think it's been taken out of play by, I guess, the risk of that 7 tackle set and short dropout?
No, I love it. I just think you just need to have a better kicking game, just a lighter foot. It's the repeat set. That's what puts the pressure on. That's what wears the defense down. Even if it doesn't end up in points and you get 2 or 3 in a row, that's defensive effort that is going to come back to haunt you in the last 15, 20 minutes of the game. So keep going for it. Work on your kick game. Practice, and then get it right. Simple as that.
Bring back the chip and chase.
I just think, which I kind of said in the question, but we've gone away from the grubber and a lot of teams have so much because of that short dropout. Since the short dropout come in, there's no guarantee you get the ball back off a grubber anymore. So teams are either going to run it or put in an attacking kick looking for points, knowing that I don't know what the stats are. We'll get long to look up that. But on a short dropout, so many times now, obviously the team taking the dropout gets the ball. What is it?
1 in 3 chance of getting it back from the short dropout.
There you go. So, if you put a cross-field kick, especially when you've got Momax in your team, for example, there's obviously a fair chance you could score a try when they get back on the field to Parramatta.
Get rid of the short dropout too.
Jez, fire your next question.
I think that those plays are much higher percentage plays, but like when you're like really close to the line, I think it's always a great option in that thing instead of just trying to get too cute with it. If that makes sense.
I agree with you. I've always been a fan of building pressure and grubbing it. I used to scream at Mitch to do it all the time. Used to like before Joey Johns, like put it in the in goal, repeat set, build the pressure, play patient. But I said,
if you're inside if you're inside the 10 or inside the 5, you have to, right?
Yeah, grubber or run.
Yeah.
Like you got to run it. Obviously, as I said, be better at it, but the risk of giving away a 7 tackle set as well. If you run the ball and you hand it over in that 5 meter zone, it's obviously a lot harder for him to work out as well. But why your next question asked, Jez? I think thoughts on Bellamy in the box as an advisor. I think Bellamy will ever be involved in a club against Melbourne. Jason, your thoughts? I love Melbourne.
Well, no, I think she means for New South Wales on this one.
New South Wales.
Oh, got you. Actually missed us, isn't it?
Even I knew that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't.
Well,
I told you.
Everyone's been asking the question of Laurie and all the players and stuff, and all reports are that pretty much he's literally just an advisor. They are just running things by him, asking him what certain things, if they should change or how they would do things on the run. Laurie's been in the box with him a few times to see how he does interchanges and that sort of stuff. So I think it is more just an advisory role. For many years, even though he was a coach for New South Wales, he has always hated to coach against his Melbourne players. He's come out and said it quite blatantly that he doesn't like doing it. So I don't think he's going to be involved in any of the actual coaching or strategy. It's going to be more about how to sort of be a coach in big games and make big decisions, and what if this happens and HIA and blah blah blah. I think it's more going to be about that rather than any actual coaching.
I think you're full of shit. I don't agree with you. I don't like it. I think the New South Wales have come out and stated so many times they want a standalone coach. And they're like, hands are pretty tight on it now. They couldn't come out and appoint a coach currently coaching NRL team. And Bellamy isn't going to obviously leave Melbourne to coach New South Wales. I think he's actually in there doing a fair bit of coaching. I know what they're saying, but I think New South Wales have tied their hands. And look, we know there wasn't a lot of options besides Laurie Daly, and Laurie Daly got the gig. So it looks like Craig Bellamy's in there doing a fair bit. Jack, your thoughts? Do you want to say something?
Yeah, look, I think I can see both happening. I'm going to stick by the fact that he's come out so many times and said he does not like coaching against his Melbourne boys. And there's a fair few lying around in Queensland. So I think he'll give pointers to Daly on how to coach, because I don't think he's a very good coach. And just kind of run him through the game plan of every possible scenario. So when that shit does hit the fan on Wednesday, because it always does, Daly's not shitting bricks and he kind of has no idea what he's doing.
Fuck's sake, Hayden and you have got some kind of weird fucking love affair going on, Matt Benny, and he's just carrying on like a 5-year-old pork chop in the comments. He couldn't message you in the group chat we've got. He wants to know what you're wearing. It's New England Patriots.
It's the Patriots, Hayden. There you go, mate. Stop asking.
Now, fuck off. Respectfully. All right. Galvin to the Dogs or Eels in 2026.
Eels.
Oh, sorry. Just quickly back on that Bellamy thing. Also, isn't Bellamy's record against Queensland 0-3?
Yeah.
Why is he in as an advisor? Can't even get a win.
Advising
He's a good club coach.
Who's the champions, Benny?
Yeah.
Fair enough. 8 in a row.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Oh, leave it in the past. Leave it in the past.
So are you.
Only 1 year ago.
You're living more in the past.
Anyway.
All right. Galvin to the Dogs or Eels in 2026. I believe he'll be at Parramatta, and when he's at Parramatta, everything will make sense. Everything will fall perfectly into place, and everything will make sense, and there'll be a little story to tell once that happens. So let's just wait for it to happen. Any more good questions? There was one about. Shut the fuck up, Andrew. No, you just annoy me. What grunt for anyone else but you? You just pest. What's Troy on? We don't know. We actually don't know.
I can get you some if you want.
I want to talk about this, Lou, because this was asked quite a bit today as well when we put up our Q&A today and I was answering some questions. Last year, Parramatta fans whinged and complained that we didn't have a genuine 7 to call upon when Mitchell Moses was out and Mitchell Moses was in Origin. Everyone whinged. We've got no 7. We've got no backup. Why isn't our backup half playing all this crap? We've got no one ready to go. We have gone off and signed Dean Hawkins, who is an excellent backup 7. He's played NRL, obviously, South Sydney as well. He's obviously stuck in New South Wales club, but he could go overseas. He could go to Super League. He could be a starting 7. He's an excellent backup 7. The whole plan to bring him to the club was for situations like this. So it's a no-brainer for Hawkins to come in at 7. For me, Walker will never be a 7. I didn't actually rate him as a 5'8" when he was a 5'8". He was a centre who tried to play 5'8", and all he was doing was running the ball. It definitely wouldn't work as a 7. I think that's it. Nothing else to get to, is there? No one got anything else to say? No. When are the Tigers meeting on Galvin? It's tonight, apparently.
I thought it was yesterday. I was looking through my phone all day yesterday I thought it was yesterday.
Yeah, no, it's tonight. It's apparently it's tonight. It was rumoured to be fighting out. There's been no breaking news anywhere, and I'm quite surprised because usually the Tigers have more leaks than the Titanic, but I'm sure something will come out in the next couple of days, and we'll see what happens. But just got to watch that space and hope that obviously signs for Parramatta, and then it'll be a wonderful time. All right, guys.
And we're all happy again.
All happy. The world a happy place. That's all we've got time for. Like I said, hoping to get on Thursday night. I've got to rally some things together to a preview. We haven't done the preview show for quite a while, just due to the way some of these games have been falling. 6 o'clock Friday games have been a fucking nightmare, but might be able to pop on Thursday night with a couple of the boys and do a bit of a more in-depth preview of that game and try and grab a Manly supporter on as well. Next Tuesday, we'll be doing a bit of an Origin special. Don't worry, guys. We'll be making Benny unavailable and Hayden, so don't worry too much about that. And then we'll jump into our usual, I guess we'll call it a shortened Parramatta podcast next week because I'll try and grab a couple of other boys on to talk Origin. But that's all we got. See you next Tuesday.
Go Parra.